Hello everyone, welcome back to Teacher Ezrin's English class. Today we're going to look at simple present tense. Before we start, we'll do a little bit of revision. We need to know the difference between the B verb and another type of verb for present tense. Okay, B verb is the basic of all. It refers to am, is and are. So am is specially made for I. Istimewa hanya untuk I. I am. You cannot say I is or I are. Okay, just I am. I am a student. For is, it has to be used for singular subject. So you have to use is with he, she or it. Ataupun by using the name. For example, Amir is a worker at that mall. Okay, either he, she or it, the pronouns or the name of the person. For are, this is for plural, and also for you, this is a special case. So you are family, we are family, they are family. Right? So when you see the word be verb, it refers to am, is and are. For present tense verb, the verb here refers to action verb, iaitu kata perbuatan. Okay, so over here we have the subject, singular and plural. So for we and they are the plural subject. I and you is the special case that falls into this category. So when the subject is plural, ada lebih daripada seorang, we exclude s from the verb. Okay, they eat, they sleep. Okay, for he, she and it, this is the singular pronoun. He seorang, she pun seorang. Or you can replace it with the name also, Ame or Siti. Okay, so when the subject over here is singular, one person only, we include s for the verb. He eats, she eats, it eats. Or he sleeps, she sleeps, it sleeps. And then at the back is the object complement. So over here, you need to know the difference between the be verb and the present tense verb. So over here, the be verb refers to am, is and are. The verb in present tense refer to the action verb, kata perbuatan. Okay, next we'll look at the rule of simple present tense. Okay, this is an excerpt from your textbook. The verbs in the sentences above are written in the simple present tense. We use the simple present tense to show habits, regular actions, or to refer to present time. Okay, here, Najmi and his family leave the hotel at 7 a.m. Okay, this is about present time. Asin reads a brochure about famous places in Perak. And over here, down here, the examples, I brush my teeth every day. So this is a regular actions or to show habits. Setiap pagi dia bangun gosok gigi. So something that you do every day, you have to use in present tense. I brush my teeth every day. She teaches English every Saturday. So this is regular action, mingguan. So you can also use this in present tense. We are hungry, present time. B, to state general facts, untuk memberitahu tentang fakta umum. For example, the earth is round. Bumi itu bulat. So, even 100 years ago, or now, or in the future, the earth will remain round. Okay, so you cannot use the earth was round. If you say that the earth was round, it will show that now it's flat. Dulu je dia bulat, sekarang dah rata. So, the sentence will be wrong. Okay, so when stating general facts, you have to use present tense. Birds have wings. Okay, there are no birds without wings, so they have to use present tense. Okay. So here you can see, to use present tense, can describe facts and habits, describe scheduled events in the near future, and to tell stories. Here is another example of a timeline. So this is past, present, and future. So we are looking at present, sekarang. Okay. Kata ayat yang menunjukkan waktu sekarang. Present activity. Okay, for story, kita boleh tengok sini. He looks at her and smiles. I play football. Scheduled future activity. Almost going towards future, but you can still make the sentence in present tense. So the train arrives at 6 o'clock. Okay, so these are the example. Next, under present tense, you can find positive and negative statements. Positive statement is when you use the subject, verb, and the object complement. Okay, ayat positive. We eat cereal for breakfast. Okay, we, then the verb without s. He, she, it, the verb you have to add s or es. She lives in the countryside. He lives in the countryside. So when it is a positive statement, you just use the verb. Okay, so what does it mean by negative statement? Negative statement is when you use the word don't or doesn't. Okay, to use don't, it has to be used with the plural subject. We don't, I don't, you don't, they don't. So this the trick for this is to remember a very simple sentence. For example, do you know about this? No, I don't know. So I don't know. So whenever you use I don't know, so you will know that it is grouped together with we, you, and they. So automatically, the rest of it has to be used with don't. I don't, we don't, you don't, and they don't. So negative sentence, we don't eat cereal for breakfast. And for subject, he, she, and it, this is the singular subject, you have to use doesn't. Add s or es, the same with the above. Okay, so she doesn't live in the countryside. He doesn't live in the countryside. He doesn't know about the latest news. She doesn't know about the latest news. Okay, so this is the positive statement and this is a negative statement. Positive statement, you just remember the rule whether to add s or to remove s between these two, singular, plural. You have to look at the subject pronouns. For negative statement, it is at the word don't and doesn't. Okay, so why didn't we put in s or es at the action verb behind? So whenever there is a do, does, or don't, doesn't, the do auxiliary, it has to be followed by the root word, kata dasar. So don't sleep, doesn't sleep. Kita tak kata doesn't sleep, salah, because we already give the s to at do and does. Okay, kita dah bagi s dekat does, so the verb at the back, sleep, is without the s word. Okay, it has to be in root word, kembali kepada kata dasar. Okay, so the trick here is you need to remember the do auxiliary. Bila jumpa perkataan do ataupun did, it has to be the verb after do, does, or did has to be in root word, kembali kepada kata dasar, ejaan asal, without s, without ed, without ing. Okay, past tense tak boleh, ing tak boleh, apa pun tak boleh, kata dasar. We only change the do in front into don'ts or doesn't ataupun did or didn't. Okay, so here are another example. Plural subject, eats cereal for breakfast. Okay, sini plural, sini kita buang s. Don't eat, kita pakai don't, so it dia kekal dalam kata dasar. Okay, root word. Sleep, don't sleep. They don't sleep in the tent. Okay, kita dah guna don't, so sleep kata dasar. He, she, it, eats. Okay, ini singular subject, so verb dia kena ada s. But then when you use doesn't, you already give s towards the do, so the word eat, the verb eat has to be in root word. Okay, this is do auxiliary. Ini adalah verb dia, tapi verb dia kena dalam kata dasar. Okay, doesn't eat. Sleeps, doesn't sleep. Buang s di belakang. Dia tak sama dengan positive statement. Negative statement, kita hanya ubah the do word. Okay, don't, doesn't, and then the verb followed after should be in root word, kata dasar ataupun base form. Next, okay, this is another example that you can see here. Positive statement. He, she, it, followed by the first form of verb and add s, es or ies. Okay, for plural subject, followed by the first form of verb. Okay, she starts new diet. You start new diet. Negative statement, does not ataupun doesn't followed by first form of verb. Okay, first form of verb ataupun root word, first form of verb ataupun root verb ataupun root word, base form, semua tu benda yang sama. Right? Do not ataupun don't followed by the base form of verb juga, so it will be don't start, doesn't start. Jangan tambah s, jangan tambah ing, jangan ubah jadi past tense. Okay, tak boleh. Okay, next, how to ask question. So when we want to ask question, it goes like this: the do word, the subject, and the verb. Okay, so does he start? Do you start? Okay, like that. So example here, she starts new diet. Ada statement, ada ayat penyata. So the question that we can form from here is, does she start new diet? The do word, the subject, the verb, and the question, the object complement. Okay, ataupun subject complement. Does she start new diet? Do you start new diet? So you can see over here, because we use the do and the does, the verb has to be in base form. Here she starts the s, but when you use does, automatically the verb is back in base form. Does start, do start. Okay. Okay, you can see here, plural, singular. So the plural sentence, do we eat is the verb, cereal for breakfast. Does she live in the countryside? So this is how you form the question. Next, using WH. So just now, the previous page, we are focusing on the do and does question. Okay, next is using the WH question. Okay, let's see. So this is the table. To ask question, it goes like this: WH question, the do word, the pronouns, the verb, and object complement or subject complement. Okay, what do I eat for dinner? Okay, just now I said when you use do or does, the action verb will be in base form. Sama juga. Jangan tambah s, jangan tambah ing, jangan ubah kepada past tense. Okay. What do I eat? What do you eat? What do we eat? What do they eat? Okay, sama je. Okay. When do you plan to tell him about your illness? Where do we want to go for the next school holiday? Who do you think is the best actor in that film? And the last one, how do they find the treasure? So it's easy, right? The WH question, the do auxiliary, the pronouns over here, the action verb in base form dalam bentuk kata dasar ataupun root word, and the object complement, ayat pelengkap dia. Okay, so what do I eat for dinner? So whenever you use the do or does, the verb will be in base form. Okay, so this is how you ask question using WH. Just now, we just use the do word. Do I eat fish for dinner? But for this one, because it's going to ask using WH question, the question will change into what do I eat for dinner? Apa yang saya akan makan untuk makan malam? Okay, so I hope you understand this part. Next is does. So this is the same like do. The WH question, does, the pronouns, so for does, you have to use it with he, she or it. So you can choose which one do you want to use. He, she or it. And the action verb and also the object complement, ayat pelengkap, right? So this one, I will give you a link in your Google Classroom. You have to go to the link and complete the task. Okay, so now when you have clicked the link to Padlet, you will be taken to this page. Here you can see the title is Simple Present Tense Exercise. Create 5 questions using WH question. Over here, down here, you can see the plus button. Okay, so you have to click this one to add post, and then it will appear like this. For the title part, you have to write your name so that I know who's posting this. Okay, so this is where you write your name. Okay, and at the bottom is where you write the question that you have to do. Okay, let's check again what are the question. So you have to do this part, WH question, for does. Okay, do tak payah, do teacher dah bagi, so you only have to do for does. So for example, number 1, what does he, she or it? You have to choose one and then followed by the action verb and the object complement. Okay, ayat pelengkap. Okay, so this is the example. Okay, what does he or she eat? The action verb. Okay, what does he, she eat plus action verb plus object complement. So basically for number 1, if I were to write properly, what does she do? What does she watch at night? Okay, remember when we use the word do or does, the verb, the action verb has to be in base form. Okay, next followed by when. Number 3, where. Number 4, who. Number 5, how. Okay, so now I've already used she, so you need to use he and it also, and you can repeat using either 3 of these. So if for example you have 2 sentence question using she, it's okay as long as you use all 3, he, she and it. Jangan buat number 1 sampai 5 semua she sahaja. Make sure you use all the pronouns he, she, and it. Okay, so this is an example that you can see. Remember, what does, okay, buat dalam bracket juga supaya kamu tahu this is also to be included. What does the pronoun, the action verb, and the object complement? Remember, the action verb has to be in base form. Okay, so PS over here, reminder, action verb in base form. Okay. Okay, and then once you have finished, you can just click anywhere on the whiteboard, blackboard, okay, and it's there. Done. Okay, so this is how you do the work in the Padlet. Okay, for your exercise, you have to copy the exercise into your writing book. Okay, so this is your activity 1, textbook page 48. So you have to copy the sentence number 1 until number 6 and fill in the blank with the correct form of the verb. Okay, so it is an asin. So this is plural subject. Ada 2 orang. So how what kind of action verb shall we use? Is it cycle or cycles? Okay, so you have to consider the subject in front. Okay. Next, activity 2. Okay, these are the facts about Gunung Pulai Recreational Forest 2. Identify the verbs. So what you need to do is to copy all the sentence here into your writing book and then underline the verbs. Okay. For example, Gunung Pulai Recreational Forest 2 is a popular picnic spot in Johor. So in this sentence, there's a B verb. Okay, just now I said the B verb consists of am, is, and are. So which one is the B verb in this sentence? Good. It should be is. So this is the first verb in this sentence, and then followed by with the rest of the sentence, you have to underline the verbs, right? And then activity 3, fill in the blanks with the correct form of the verb. So for this one, it is the same with activity 2. You have to copy this letter here in the correct format. Okay, there it is, start close to the line, and then how are you indent it and move it a little bit to the right, okay, far away from the lines, and then write in paragraph and signature on the right side over here. Okay, and then fill in with the correct answer. So once you have finished, take a picture of your work and submit it in your Google Classroom. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.